A 20-year-old dog found himself abandoned at a shelter, destined for euthanasia. However, a heartbreaking secret about this dog named Radar would soon come to light. Although Radar had finally found a new home, he appeared far from peaceful or content. He wandered through the garden, diligently sniffing everything and letting out mournful howls. Initially, his new foster mom couldn't fathom his behavior, but later, she would uncover the sorrowful secret he harbored, ultimately shattering her heart. Many things about Radar made the rescuers very sad. From the moment he arrived, it was one of the saddest situations they had ever seen. The shelter was surprised when a couple brought in a cute, but not well-groomed dog. It seemed like this dog used to be taken care of and groomed regularly, but then they stopped. Radar, who looked like an Ewok and was adorable, instantly won the hearts of the shelter staff. However, they were worried about why the couple brought him there. They wondered what could be so sad or heartbreaking about the situation. The dog's owners told the shelter to put him to sleep. They said he was 20 years old and had constant stomach problems, like diarrhea and vomiting. They didn't want to bother checking him or spending time and money on him. It seemed like they just wanted to get rid of him as quickly as they could. They weren't even willing to pay for euthanasia. It was a really sad and awful situation, and the dog appeared very unhappy. The shelter had his owner sign over their rights to the dog. This meant that the shelter could do with the dog whatever they wanted, and the previous owners had no right to demand anything. They might have believed that the dog should be euthanized, but the shelter wouldn't give up on him that easily. They didn't have the resources to care for such a sick dog, so they reached out to the Animal Justice League of Houston to help. Radar sadly needed to have a very lonely night in the shelter. He was crying and moaning, and he wasn't happy. They would later know that he was also probably in a lot of pain at the time. The next day, the Animal Justice League came to the rescue. They took on Radar's care and took him to the vet. The news wasn't great. Radar was a very sick dog. The vet at Forest Veterinary Hospital checked him out completely, but there were a lot of things they had to be worried about. The first major issue was the lack of muscle tone in his back legs. They didn't believe he was really 20, but he was very old. They weren't sure if they could get him any stronger. His nails were also seriously overgrown. They doubted that the owners took him on regular walks. His bum was really tender from the diarrhea and the issues with his digestive system. He couldn't poo without screaming in pain, and when they examined him, he cried out the entire time. It was terrible. But at least they could rule out any blockages or fractures. He also constantly had a fever, and they had to get his gut health better, hoping that the fever would subside. He got a lot of medicine, and he would have to be constantly supervised and cared for. Luckily, there was an amazing foster mother who was willing to take him in right away. She could be with him around the clock and give him all the care he needed. The story was first shared on social media pages, and the response was overwhelming. A lot of love and care were shown for Radar. There were loads of people who wanted to adopt him, but as sick as he was, he couldn't be adopted right away. But his foster mother was determined to treat him as her own dog and give him all the love that he deserved. The vet noticed a sad secret that the dog was hiding. The vet said that it looked like Radar was searching for his owners. He would sniff around all the time and look for someone that he knew. It looked like the dog was disappointed every time that he realized he was among strangers, but even then, he would want the love that humans could give him. After searching for a while, he would just pick the person closest to him and cuddle with them. His foster mom made sure that she was around every time that he wanted to cuddle. Radar had to feel all the love that his owner should have given him. But the great news was that he was starting to get better. After a few days, they really thought he was getting better. They never would believe what happened later, but sometimes it's better not to know what the future holds. For the moment, they were a lot happier than they ever expected. For the first few days, he was still searching for his people. He was sad, but they were starting to reach him. The pain medicine started to kick in, and he got a lot of love from his foster mom. They also gave him a bath and grooming, and something shocking happened when they got him wet. They realized that all of his fur was hiding how thin he was underneath. He was tiny and malnourished, but they hoped that it would change very soon. Besides growing fond of his foster mom, Radar developed a new love: food. He really liked food, and when he started feeling better, he eagerly ate everything they gave him. Because of his tummy problems, he had to eat some plain food and snacks, but whenever his foster mom prepared his meals, he got super excited. She prepared chicken, rice, and pumpkin for his meals. Even though she wasn't a big fan of cooking, she did it for Radar to show how much she cared about him. She even gave him turkey baby food as a snack. Food was one of the few things that made him happy. He liked to cuddle, but he didn't usually play much until one morning when Radar was feeling exceptionally good. As soon as his mom started to make food, he got really excited. He spun around a few times and even grabbed a toy and started playing with it. He was acting like a happy dog for the first time. His foster mother couldn't be happier. It was amazing. Still, the puppy was hanging on to a lot of sadness in every new situation, or if new people came into their home. He seemed to be searching for the people he lost. His foster mom was determined to shower him with love. She rubbed his belly and just lay on the couch with him. Each time he showed his tummy to be rubbed, she was happy to oblige. He also made some new friends. She had another cat and another dog, and he started playing with the cat and cuddling with the dog. It was seriously cute. It all started to relax and get into a routine. But tragedy was going to strike soon. One morning they got up, and he didn't want to eat, and he was in a lot of pain. His medicine didn't seem to help, and it was just generally an awful morning. She decided to rush him to the emergency vet. They took him to the hospital, but after another terrible night, they had to accept the sad truth. He was extremely sick and in a lot of pain, so they had to say goodbye to him. It was a very sad and difficult decision for his mother to make. However, she was determined to ensure that he didn't feel abandoned again. She wanted him to feel all the love she had for him. When the time came to bid farewell, she held him close. She told him that he was a good dog and that, even though he had only been with her for a short time, he belonged to her, and she belonged to him. She loved him with all her heart. She cried for him for many days. In the end, he experienced love, which is a precious gift no matter how short the time. This wasn't the way anyone wished Radar's story would end. However, it raised awareness about the group that helped him. It also made his foster mom and all the rescuers even more determined to help dogs while there's still a chance to save them. People should be able to care for and love their dogs even as they grow old. But if they can't, there are good people out there who will do their best to provide the best care for these dogs. What do you think about Radar's story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you this video. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.